days and 40 nights, then it's possible for us as, mortal humans to abstain from food for at least a couple of days to really nourish our spirits, strengthen our spirits, and really cling on to the Lord in the times that are very hard and uncertain. And when Jesus was fasting for that amount of time, of course he was tempted by Satan. He tried to give him bread, and Jesus knew he couldn't break his fast because he had to see through God's plan for him. And that could be us right now, where we have to abstain from food for a while to see through a plan that God has for us, for it to come to fruition in our lives. And when it comes to food is another form of pleasure, seeking pleasure. And ain't nothing wrong with eating, of course, but we have a tendency to overeat, and we're overfed as a society. And when we eat too much, it shows in our living, it shows in our body, it shows in our mind. It just reflects our overall well-being when we overeat. And it's not healthy at all. So when you're going through a fast, one thing you don't want to do, and I talked about this in my last video, you never want to tell people that you are fasting. Because if you're just telling people that you're fasting, then you're doing it for validation. And the only reward you're going to get is man's validation. You're not going to be able to obtain the Lord's blessing. He's not going to reward you. Your only reward is validation, because your intention of fasting was to tell people, to make yourself look like you are holier than thou, to put yourself on this pedestal. And that's not what fasting is about. It's not about you being better than everybody. It's about you clinging closer to the Lord. It's about you deepening your connection and your bond with the Creator. Okay? One thing fasting does is it attracts God into your life. But when you fast, you have to keep your prayer life, you got to keep it strengthened and sharpened, right? And that's something that I'm learning, going through a fast, is I had to strengthen my prayer life. My prayer life has been very weak. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't always been consistent. And I said, you know what? I'm going to abstain from food for a while, and I'm going to use this time that I am fasting, I'm going to use it to strengthen my prayer life so that the Lord could actually hear me. And the prayers that I am reciting, they will be, eventually answered. And that comes down to being patient. Because, when you pray into the Most High, your prayer is not going to be answered right away. It's not going to be answered in a couple of days. It takes time. You got to be patient. And through patience, you got to have faith. You know what I'm saying? So, the Most High instructs us to have faith in times of uncertainty. So that's one aspect of fasting that I want to discuss with you guys, because I feel like it's really important. And along with retaining your life force as a man, a strong prayer life fasting, to me, that's a deadly combination to combat the devil, if you ask me. You know, like, that is the definition of you being armored up. Like, straight up, man. And that's something, as all men, we need to start practicing. Praying more often, fasting, a set period where we do not eat food.